Okay, while I'm waiting for everybody to get their content loaded into the chat bar so we can talk, Ronnie, since yours is already on there, I know you guys got the Texarkana meeting lined up for Tuesday. So I saw that. What's going on with your other markets that we talked about? Where you're at and where you're working? What's going on with those, Ronnie?
Yeah, sorry, what's going on, Wes?
I was just saying, can you update me on what's going on in your other markets? I know Texarkana, we finally have a meeting locked in for Texarkana on Tuesday. So can you update me on what's going on in your other markets?
Yeah, so the market in Kansas, she's a member influencer as well. There, my girlfriend, she's working on that. So nothing's confirmed in Kansas yet. We're taking the role of getting members to join before we actually host a bigger event. I'm talking to her later tonight to find out who she's reached out to, who's confirmed, and then I'm working here in West Texas. Actually, just got confirmation that the consultant just joined. He's got a girlfriend. It's big time hair salon owner, and he's gonna be prospecting there too. So I'm gonna follow up with him as soon as this Zoom's over. But yeah, give me till tomorrow to find out what's going on in Kansas for sure, how things are going here in West Texas, and I'll update you.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And then just make sure that the team in Texarkana and yeah, Keith, that's going to be a weekly meeting for Tuesday night. It's back at the Mexican place that we were at a couple weeks ago. It's called Zapata's. It's on Tuesday night. And so Ronnie, obviously, you know that the team there is new, and so making sure that they know what they need to do and have everything that they need set up so that that meeting goes well on Tuesday night. I'm going to promote it as well. So just make sure that you're staying in touch with them and making sure that they've got everything they need. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm waiting on you guys to put stuff in the chat. So let's see here. Kelly, since there's nothing else right now coming in the chat, everybody's working on their list. Why don't you just unmute and talk to me about what's been going on with you and Marcus over the last 4 days with your events, activities, sales, recruiting, with your two and free status, and the stuff we talked about from last week. Can you update me?
Yeah, how you doing?
How are you?
It's been going yeah, it's been going well. I had a couple people on the Zoom call tonight. I texted them after. I didn't get a response though. It was about two people on there. And I've been doing good with my coins every day. Today wasn't a good day, but every other day I've been locking in getting five numbers a day. Today I only unfortunately got one, but every other day I've been getting the five numbers. All of that is building up to like the live events and just having more of an audience and more urgency towards like getting people to the live events. Marcus was also looking up like Toastmasters in Wilkes-Barre. There's one this Tuesday, in 2 days from now that we're gonna try to attend in Wilkes-Barre. And then there's one on Friday in a different location in Wilkes-Barre. So we're gonna try to like keep going to like Toastmasters around the area and not just the one like the Scranton one.
Okay. Um,
And
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. And I also have a link update with Jim, who we met at the Toastmasters, but he's been like really busy. And I've been walking past his pizzeria trying to see if I see him in there, but I haven't seen him in there yet. But as soon as I see him, I'm gonna lock him in and just make sure I sit him down literally inside the pizzeria, have a conversation with him, and try to get him on the phone with you.
Okay. And
But that's the pizzeria owner.
Okay. And the rest of your list from last week, because we talked about how you had a couple people that were on the fence, and we talked about getting to two and free by Friday. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, I was really pushing two and free by Friday. I was more so doing like the Zoom calls. Like
Okay.
I was trying to get two and free from the Zoom calls. Unfortunately, like I don't know, the Zoom calls weren't like either people were saying that they couldn't make it or
Mhm.
like after the Zoom call they weren't like answering.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just
So
gonna push just like
So
not forcing people, but just like
yeah, but
getting
when
them
you
to
say
really
that
just sit
when
down
you
as soon
say
as
that
I get them.
they didn't answer, that they didn't get on the Zoom. You're saying they just didn't get on the Zoom. I mean, you didn't see them on the Zoom and then they didn't answer afterwards. You're just saying that you called them and they didn't answer, right?
Well, I've seen like I saw like two of my guests like they hopped on a Zoom and then like maybe halfway they would hop off and then like the other one stayed on to the end and then like when I called them they just didn't answer.
Mhm.
So like
And
it's kind
so
of like I don't know if they're like not paying attention
okay.
and
So
like just letting it run.
so that happened just literally in the last, well, we haven't done a Zoom till tonight since Thursday. So did you have somebody on Thursday night Zoom?
Yeah, it was Thursday night Zoom and tonight I had two people on there but one person hopped off midway and then the other person I texted them.
Mhm.
I should have called them, but after this call right now I'll probably call them, but I texted them I was like, "Hey, did you get a chance to hop on the video?" But I knew they were on the video, but I just wanted to like ask them like, "Did you get a chance to hop on?
Yeah,
How was it? Like what did you like
hold
best?"
on, hang on. So real quick, if you knew that they were on, why would you ask them if they got a chance to hop on?
Just so like it wouldn't seem like I was like hawking them down, like just like, oh, I was like on top of them looking for their name.
Why would you already give them an out, like give them an excuse instead of coming from a position of strength and confidence and saying something like, "Wasn't that awesome? What did you like the best?"
Right. Right,
Remember
yeah.
how we talked about that with closing questions like 2.5 weeks ago, like what to say to somebody after the Zoom or after the presentation? Not what did you think? Did you get on?
Yeah.
Are you coming? You know, those that's like actually like the opposite of what you want to say, right? Because the thing
Yeah.
is that you want to expect that they're there, right? This whole attitude about them not getting on the Zoom or not following up with you afterwards, it's a personal issue. I'm just telling you right now,
Mhm.
Kelly, it's because of your attitude that's happening. If your attitude was they're going to be on, they're going to be on time, they're going to be studious, and they're going to be fired up and excited
Mhm.
afterwards, that's what's going to happen. Because when I invite people onto the Zooms, that's what happens. Not everybody signs up, but nobody ducks me or dodges me. And I don't ever say to
Right.
somebody, "Hey, did you get on? Like, did you get on? Did you like it? You know, like, what did you think?" Like, we got to get better at the basics. And we've gone through this stuff for the last couple of weeks. And so you can't go in with this attitude like, well, my people don't stick on. I mean, that's just never happened to me. Why? Because I'd be weirded out. I would freak out. If like one of my friends got on and then got off in the middle, I'd be like, what's your problem, bro? Like, what happened to you? Like, I would just literally ask them straight up because my confidence is this is something that they need. This is something that's going to benefit them. And so my position is from a position of strength and confidence, not weakness. You have to change
Right.
this. You're creating this. So with your attitude and the way that you're doing it, it's creating some of this outcome. Okay. And so it's not okay. It's not okay for you to set an appointment for somebody and have them get on and not respond to you or not stay on the whole time. That's not a normal thing. So a couple of things. Number one, who are these people? That would be my first question because if they're getting on because they know us, like us, or trust us, what a completely disrespectful thing for them to get on something that you told them was, if you did it right. Once again, this is just assuming that you're doing everything right. I'm trying to show you where the kink in your armor is, where your problem is. Okay. So if you're doing the inviting right and you're inviting people properly and saying that this matters to you and it's important to you, and they get off in the middle of it, I mean, what kind of person is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we inviting
Yeah.
to begin with? Okay. So if we're doing it right, then your expectation is that they're going to be on and they're going to be ready to talk to you because I tell everybody the same thing at the end of the Zoom. I say, get back with the person who invited you here and let them know if you're ready to get started or not. Right. So give
Yeah.
them the courtesy of getting back in touch with them and letting them know if you're in or out. I don't care if you're in or out. I don't need their $200. Right. But my
Right.
attitude is like, we made an appointment. We set this. You're going to be there. I know you're going to be excited afterwards. So I'm going to literally talk as soon as it's over. I'm going to call and be like, wasn't that awesome? What did you like best? That's what I'm.
Right. The energy.
Yeah, because I'm expecting them that they're going to be fired up. Why would they not be excited? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you're expecting them to bail on you. Like, this is like a total like abandonment mentality. You understand? Like, I would never expect somebody that I set an appointment with to jump off in the middle of the appointment. I'd be like offended. And so that wouldn't happen.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So either get better people that are more respectful and courteous, or invite better
Mhm.
and make sure that they understand how important it is to you. You know, because if you invite properly, right? If we go back to the basics of what we talked about 2.5 weeks ago when we started with inviting, if you're telling them, hey, this matters to me, this is important to me, I give them the 3-step text every night. I say, hey, this is important to me, I need 20 minutes of your time. You told them that you needed 20 minutes, so why would they get off at 10? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you're doing it right,
Mhm.
Kelly, you're going to get the results. Okay. But anytime
Mhm.
you deviate and you do it the Kelly way versus the way that I teach you, this is where you're going to get different results, right? Results may vary,
Yeah.
but results don't vary if you do the program the right way. So we have to figure out where it is that, that the issue is coming up. And I think it's a confidence thing. I think you're expecting people to bail on you. You're expecting people to no show. You're expecting people not to sign up afterwards because that's what's happened to you so far. So your brain is just
Mhm.
associating this negativity and this rejection, and that's not normal. You shouldn't be getting that kind of rejection. Okay. And I'm telling you this as
Right.
everybody here because everybody needs to hear this because that's not normal. Okay. And so when these kinds of things happen, we have to figure out what's causing it. So is it the person that you're inviting? Is it the way you're inviting? Or is it the way that you're handling it afterwards? It can only be one of those
Mhm.
three things. So it's either the wrong person, right? Or you didn't invite properly. You didn't tell them it was 20 minutes. You didn't tell them how important it was to you. You didn't build it up and make it sound like it was the best thing since sliced bread and make them curious and want to know what it is because they should be fired up and excited. When they got on, there was over 100 people on tonight. That's crazy. You had 2 people
Mhm.
on one of the biggest Zooms we've ever had. The only Zooms that have been bigger are the ones where we were giving away the trip to the Bahamas. So it was an
Right.
awesome Zoom tonight. We had Ronnie on, we had Daryl on. I mean, I'm betting that my
Mhm.
people that were on are ready to sign up. I need to be talking to them right now, but I'm working with you guys. But what I'm saying is my expectation is that they should be fired up right now. Like that was an awesome Zoom. So if they weren't, if
Mhm.
they got off early, there's some you invited them wrong or there's something wrong with that person. I'm just telling you because it's
Yeah.
just rude and disrespectful. It's one thing to get on the Zoom for 25 minutes and to be on it and then be on it afterwards and answer the phone call, okay, and say, no, it's not for me. Cool, awesome, no big deal. That's a respectful thing
Right.
to do. That's normal. I've had
Mhm.
people tell me no. Not everybody signs up, okay, but nobody's ever jumped off and then ducked my calls because I wouldn't have
Right.
invited somebody like that. That's just not normal behavior. Okay. So I don't want
Mhm.
to, I don't want to keep on this topic. I think this is a kind of an isolated situation, but we have to fix it. And so your attitude's got to be
Mhm.
different, Kelly. Like you've got to expect to win. You have to expect to get good results. You have to expect people to show up. You have to expect people to sign up. You have to close them properly. You can't say, "Did you come? Did you show up?" It's like a
Yeah.
you
No, you're right. Yeah.
please, please, nobody else will do it. Will you please do it? Like, I can't get anybody to
Mhm.
join. Will you please, please, please? Like, that's not going to get it done. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right.
You're right.
So look here, while I'm going through everybody else's, you need to call the people that were on tonight. And your attitude needs to be like, wasn't that awesome? That's literally the
Yeah.
first words that need to come out of your mouth when you call those two people. Okay. So mute your phone and
Okay.
go call those people. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going back down the list now. Daryl, since we had you on tonight, you did a great job, by the way. Can we talk about yours really quick?
Yeah, I'm trying to set up a lunch date where I can do it every Tuesday or every Thursday
Okay.
at this place called Pyros. It's like
Okay.
a place where you build your own pizza.
Okay.
And we're having a team meeting Thursday night. And but I had some good success, man. I've been going. I go sit down at this salad bar place called Jason Deli a lot. They know me up there because I come all the time, and I have all my I be looking real busy when I be sitting there
That's
calling.
good.
I did an hour
You
and
got
10 minutes.
your whole office set up at
Yeah,
Jason Kelly, huh?
I
Nice.
did an hour and 10 minutes the other day on the stopwatch, and you get a lot done that way. But I did make contact with one of my former teammates, Byron Russell, and I'm trying to get him on the call with Denson tomorrow because he was watching All-Star game. He played in the NBA
Mm-hmm.
for the Utah Jazz, and another guy, he lives in California. I contacted him. His name is Harold Bean, and he was promoting a concert with Bob Marley's son over in Hawaii this weekend. And he flies for free because of his stepfather. So this would be great for him to be able to get those benefits. So I'm trying to close in on both of them this week. So I got some really good activity going. My activity has increased so much, and a lot of things are happening.
Good. That's a
I'm trying to knock these 10 sales on out so I can get to the Life 800.
I hear you, man. Look, here's the thing, and this is something that I want to point out to everybody, is that all of this work that Daryl's talking about, not all of this stuff produces results immediately, but it's a really good example of the work that you guys are putting in now is not going to pay you for probably 30 to 60 days. Okay. So 30 to 60 days, 90 days, maybe even in some cases. And so, one of the things that's important to understand is that whenever you do this type of busy work, right? When it's productive busy work. So you're out and about, you're meeting people, you're going to networking events, you're doing lunch meetings, you're doing launch meetings, you're doing team events. They've got the regular team event. You even heard him say, we've got our regular team meeting. When these things are happening in your market, eventually results are going to come. You can't keep doing this stuff and not get results. It's impossible. So what it should tell you is that if you're not doing this stuff, the stuff that Daryl just mentioned, if you're not getting out and networking, if you're not doing a lunch meeting, if you're not doing a weekly team meeting, if you're not doing launch meetings, if you're not meeting with your team, if you're not trying to call prospects and you're not constantly working on your list, all of these things that you're supposed to be doing that you guys all committed to on the 7-hour work week, but I know where it's happening and where it's not, because if those things are happening, eventually the results are going to come. We've been doing this now for 27 days. So if you're doing this activity, you're going to get results. Some of you, it's going to go faster than others. Some of you, it's going to go slower than others. But if you're doing all of the right activity, it's going to eventually come, and it's not going to pay you for probably 30, 60, 90 days. So a lot of this work that you're doing right now, and Kelly and Marcus and Simba and working on the coins, some of those people may not turn into even prospects for like a month. They may be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So this has all got to be happening every day, and you have to constantly build. And then you have to keep coming back to your initial list. You have to be doing launch events. You have to be doing a weekly team meeting. Why? There's several markets represented on this call right now, and you're still not doing a weekly event. I don't care if it's just you and the TV, if it's just you and the presentation, if it's just you and the video. You should get in the habit going to the same place, same time every week, and do a meeting for just you and yourself, because everybody should be doing it. I'm doing it. Okay. I'm the #1 recruiter in the company. Nobody signed up more people than me. And I've been at the weekly Dallas meeting every single week, every single Thursday. And I've had guests I've had guests every week. So I've had guests every week. I've been at the meeting every week. Why is it that some of you are still not doing a weekly meeting? Why are you not doing a weekly event? It doesn't matter about experience. It doesn't matter about presentation skills. It doesn't even matter where you're doing it. Just pick a spot and set up shop and do it at the same time, the same place every week. Get your brain, get your mind in the habit of doing this same activity every week. So this is important, right? Is doing the activity. And so Daryl's a great example of the activity and making it consistent. And it's gonna be paying off for you, Daryl. I mean, over time, over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, all of this work that you're putting in right now is all going to start paying off. And so, one of the things that I would recommend too, Daryl, is making sure that you're getting your new people to do launch events. That's the one thing I don't think we're doing enough of in Memphis yet, is having people do home parties and doing some stuff at their home, because you've got a good weekly team meetings and activities to plug into, but kind of supplement some of that work in Memphis that's happening naturally that you're not really having to do anything for. You've got other people running those meetings, but you need to be supplementing that activity with some launch events.
All right.
Okay, bud?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's move down. Let's go to Saith. Okay. Saith, let's see here. You're 12 away from Life for 800. That's awesome. Happy hour on Tuesday at Bourbon Barrel. Meeting with Josh. That's your running buddy tomorrow. A luncheon on Thursday. Okay, good. Okay, good. All good activity. Marcus. Obviously, I know a little bit of your stuff. We talked to Kelly, 2 and free, 4 away from Life for 300.
Yes.
Okay, You're working on finding a new accountability partner. Coins have been good. What's going on with your list and the contacts? Because I know you felt like you didn't have a lot of people in Scranton. So tell me what's been going on, the activities, the
Well,
events, the coins, getting out, meeting people in the community. Walk me through some of that.
okay, so that's kind of what I put in the message when I said I need to get better with cultivating the relationship, because I feel like the people that I've been meeting, because I know that you have to add value, so to keep the relationship going and things of that nature, it's like when I have the initial conversation, it's always so good. And then let's say I wait a day or even 2 days. I try not to wait, like, but this the dude I met at the Super Bowl party, Daquan.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great conversation. We were talking for like 20 or 30 minutes. He said he doesn't really like it in Pennsylvania, but he's just working so he could eventually move back down south. He's telling me all these things, all these great things, and I'm like, okay, like let's go out, let's talk, like let's just have good because I was telling him like I'm into adding value to people and just having conversation. I told him I don't really know too many people out here, and it was kind of like we related to a lot of those things. But then I hit him up on Instagram and he doesn't respond. So that's where I get like confused. Like, is there something I'm doing wrong? And that's happened a few times too,
Well, I mean,
with
look, here's the
like
thing.
some
I mean,
other
you
people.
want to make sure that you're building a relationship with somebody first, like you said, and building value. And it's not just about recruiting. I mean, that's the thing. That's going to turn people off faster than anything. And also if you sound desperate. So this is a problem that I talked about with Kelly a while ago. If you're sounding desperate, if you're sounding needy, see, the thing is my attitude is they should want what we have. They should want to be a part of what we're doing. Like what we're doing is awesome. It's hot. It's hype. Everybody's growing. Sales are exploding. Like people are like, oh, whoa, whoa. That's like, it's not, would you please come? I don't know anybody else. I can't get anybody else to sign up. I've got to get my 2 and 3. Like, could you please join? Like, there's just a difference in when you're living like with abundant mentality versus scarcity mentality, needy versus confidence, right? And so when you're talking to people that are new prospects that you've just met and you're immediately trying to recruit them and you're not building a relationship with them, that's not going to go well. I mean, you're going to have people that you're going to turn off. And part of it should be adding value for them, figuring out how you can benefit them, how you can help them. So I might be focused on that fully before I ever even talk about Bright Life. So if you just met
Well, there was like, well, there's a few people that I did mention it to because travel came up in the conversation, but like Daquan specifically, this guy named Chris, I didn't mention Bright Life. I was actually just being a good Samaritan. I was being a good person, like I am in general. So I feel that I
well,
feel when I
I
meet
mean, look,
somebody that I'm
you
such a
made
good
it.
person to where it's like that's the value right there. So is there something I'm missing?
No, I mean, but
It's
that's
like
not
a
enough
Uber
of a
driver.
sample. It's not enough of a sample. I mean, we went from you telling me point blank 2.5 weeks ago you don't know anybody in Scranton to now you're saying one guy is ducking you or you doing something wrong. I don't think you've done enough. I don't think you've talked to enough. Like you should be meeting
Mm.
more people, networking with more people. I mean, it took you 3 weeks to get to a Toastmasters meeting. Like you haven't done enough to really know if you're doing something wrong or you're getting weird results or whatever. I mean, you give one example of one guy that you met and he's ducking you. I mean, it could be totally unrelated. He could have gotten a fight with his girlfriend. He could be broke. He could be embarrassed. He doesn't want to tell you. I mean, who knows what it is, I mean, it could be a million things, but you can't look at one situation and then say, what am I doing wrong? Because it's not enough. You've got to get out there and get more no's. That's the thing. I mean, y'all have to be getting more no's. If you're not getting no's, you're doing something wrong. You should be getting no's, but you can't look at one situation and say, well, what did I do wrong? Because that's not enough. You should be getting no's. I don't get yeses every time, but when I set appointments with people and when I invite, I do it properly. I set the right expectations. I make it seem important. All of the things that we've gone through, so people show up. And if people don't show up, they let me know. It's like, oh, something came up. I'll get on. When is the next one or what's going on? Like I had somebody that came to. She drove literally twice as far because she couldn't come to one of the happy hours that she had committed to. But she said, I told you I'd be there. Something came up. I can't be there. So where is it next week? And it was in Fort Worth almost. And so she had to drive twice as far, but she came. Why? Because whenever I followed up with her, I'm like, thank you so much. It really is important to me. I appreciate you being there. Next week, it'll be a little bit further for you, but I'll buy your drinks next week if you come. And she did. And she brought her kids. And so I paid for their tab. It was at a bar. It wasn't expensive. And she came and signed up. And so the thing is that, if my attitude, if I would have been okay with it and made, oh, it's no big deal. It's all good. No worry about it. We do them all the time. We do it every week. That wasn't my attitude. My attitude was, thank you. Yes, it is really important to me. I appreciate you letting me know that you couldn't come tonight. You definitely have to be there next week. And she was like, I will be there next week. I will drive. I know it's further. And I'm like, you come. The tab's on me. I'll buy because you're going to drive further. And she's like, I'll be there. And she was. Okay. So, that's my attitude about it. And so because of that, I've got more yeses because I've gotten more nos. And so you've got to get out there and meet more people and start flipping more cards. You've got to start processing more sales. You can get more nos, but you're eventually going to get yeses. Okay. And so it could be Daquan. I mean, who knows? I don't know anything about the guy. It could be a totally random situation. You're probably not doing something wrong. You're just not doing enough. That's what you're doing wrong. In my opinion is you're not exposing enough. You guys are not doing a consistent weekly meeting. You're not getting people there. You're not getting out in the community. You still haven't joined the chamber, I'm sure. I mean, these are things we've talked about every week. So if you want to know the truth, those are the things that you need to be doing. Forget about Daquan and why he ducked you. Doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. We don't need him. But you need to be getting in front of more people or you're never going to get the results that you want. Does that make sense? You can't worry about one guy. You should be getting no's every day, Marcus. If you're doing this right, you should be exposing people every
I have been. That's why I've been getting confused. Well, I haven't, I guess not to the extent that you're saying, but I've been getting a lot of no's or no responses.
Wait, hold
More
on.
than
Wait,
one,
wait,
at least
wait. When I
5 or
say
6.
exposed, hold on. So let's back up. So when I say exposed, you got them to a live Zoom with me, or you got them to a live presentation. How were they exposed?
No, so that's not what I was
doing.
doing. I was just building the relationship and then not getting the responses after that. And I'm like inviting them somewhere, just a response in general.
I know, but that's my point. You see what I'm saying? You don't have enough of a sampling because you haven't exposed anybody. So what may be happening is it may be you're not building enough of a relationship with them before you start exposing them or inviting them, right? Because the thing is if they're just non-communicative, then you just need to go find more people. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to get no's. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't think that you're doing something wrong. You may just be moving in too fast for the presentation and the invite, and you haven't built enough of a relationship with them. I don't know. I wasn't on the phone. I don't know how the conversations have gone. But when you're saying you're exposing, that's not true, because that's not an exposure. Talking to people and building a relationship with somebody, that has nothing to do with exposing, by the way. That's pre-invite. So when you're saying I am exposing, I am doing it, that's not true. Because an exposure is when they get on a Zoom with me or a live Zoom, or they come to a live event. I told you that's our priority, is a live exposure. That is expose, okay? And if you're building a relationship and you're networking with people, that is not exposing. That is just networking. That's pre-invite. You haven't even invited them properly yet. So that's not considered exposing. You haven't exposed very many at all, to my knowledge. Okay. So that's the thing where I'm talking to Kelly about. Kelly was in a different situation. She was getting people on the presentation, but then not expecting them to be ready to sign up and be excited whenever it was over. That's a different situation. You see what I'm saying? So you need to get better as a networker of making contacts and building relationships with people, and keep it about the relationship first, okay? If you're getting people that are not responding to your calls or messages, they don't feel a connection. But that's not exposing, okay? That's just being a networker and being a connector and meeting people and networking, but that's all pre-invite, because you can't expose somebody until they've been invited. And if you don't even have a relationship with them, you shouldn't be inviting yet. So you need to build the relationship first, friends first, recruit later. So have a good relationship. That's why I told you those coins that you were moving over the last week or so. I mean, bro, at this point, you should have 30 or 40 names that you're working on your contact list from the coins that you've moved. So that means that you need to be liking their photos, commenting on their stuff, just being a normal friend. It's going to take a little while to cultivate those relationships. And I told you to look at their pages and look at their posts and see if there was any ways to work in what we're doing with Bright Life because you saw something that you could make a connection with. That's kind of a little bit of a head start. But you've got to be friends first before you're going to get them to show up to a meeting. Because if you can't even get them to call you back, you don't have a relationship with them. So you're not doing anything wrong. You're not getting to the exposure part. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be better at meeting people and making lots of connections. You should be meeting tons of people every day because if you've been doing the coins right, you should be really good now at getting people's numbers and their social media accounts. So maybe that's what we need to do is you guys need to be sending me whose 5 names y'all are getting each day because you should be working a list now that should have, bro, you should have 40 or 50 names on this. You've been doing this for 2 weeks. So
yeah, I do have a list. It's not 40, but I have the hit list separated from my board of directors list. But you're right though. You can continue.
Yeah. So you need to be working that list, and in part of this is taking time to build the relationship in order to get them to a point where, remember, they will listen to you generally only if they know you, like you, or trust you. Okay. So if they don't have those factors, you're not going to get them to listen anyway. So your focus should be building relationships with these people to get them to know you, like you, and trust you. So how can you do more of that? That's where you need to work right now. Kelly is in a different situation. She needs to be working on her confidence, and she needs to be asking the right closing questions, and she needs to be inviting better. You need to be working on these 40 or 50 names that you've been building on your list, your hit list, and building better relationships with them and getting them to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay? That's why they're not communicating with you. If people are not responding to you, they don't know you, like you, or trust you. So that's a good rule of thumb. Okay? So do something to change that. All right? And you need to be working on those contacts every single day. And you need to be meeting new people every day. Once you get good at this, bro, it's just like, this is going to be like old hat. You'll be like, remember when Wes told me, I was worried about what Daquan said? Daquan's the only name I've heard from you in a week. So who cares what Daquan said? You need to be getting lots of no's. You should have 10 Daquans a week. You should have 10 people ducking you because you've been on them the right way, right? Like you should be getting no's. You're just not getting enough no's or yeses. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Ronnie just put his sale. Congrats. Turner just got a sale. I'm getting messages. I've got somebody signing up right now. Things are hot. It's wild. Like my phone is going off nonstop because I get all the notifications. Let's see what else we got on here. Anybody else have any questions on anything? I don't see anybody else's comments on here. So I know some of you have been off and a couple of you are new tonight. So you're getting a chance to hear some of this. So you want to definitely try to catch up on some of the previous videos and kind of get caught up with some of the stuff we're talking about. And for those of you that are doing the coins, I would like for you guys to start doing that on a daily basis. Send me your coin report, your coin activity report. If you're on that program and you're networking and you're trying to grow and you aren't where you want to be and you're using the coin system, I want to be getting that daily report of 5. I want the names and I want their either number or their IG or their Facebook. I want proof that you guys are getting 5 a day because a week from today, if you get 5 a day, you'll have 35 names on your hit list in 1 week. And so if everybody that's not at the rank they want to be at, you should start doing the coins too. It shouldn't just be for the people that are not at Lifer 300 yet. Everybody should be doing that unless you have a massive list where you've got people that you're calling every single day. All of you guys should start taking the coins, put 5 coins in your pocket, move 1 coin to the left pocket from the right pocket every time you get a new person's name, number, or IG. You have to get their contact information. Doesn't count if you don't get a way to communicate with them. So either get their social media or get their name and number, put them in your phone, but 5 a day. And don't go to bed, don't go home until you have your 5. Once you start doing that, it just becomes literally, it's like oxygen. It's like breathing. You don't think about breathing. When you breathe, your body just does it, right? You're born breathing. Once you get to this point where you're such a good networker, literally you don't need the coins anymore. You can leave them at home, and you're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 names a day. Every single day, you'll have multiple people that you can add to your hit list every single day. I've got people here that I've met just since I've been here the last couple of days that I'm going to be recruiting, and I've recruited people already. So from scratch in a place that I don't live, I don't know anybody. So have that attitude with the coins wherever you go. It doesn't matter. Ronnie, that's a good one for you. You know, when you're in a different place or you're at a different job site, you should be getting everybody's name and number everywhere you go. And I know you're good at that and meeting people, but this is a good lesson for all of us. Anytime we go somewhere new, or if we're in somewhere where we don't know people, it should be an excuse to get your coins moved from one pocket to the other. Okay. Any last questions? All right, guys. Thanks so much for getting on tonight. Good work, everybody. Let's get these rank ups done. Let's get this 2 and 3 done. Kelly, Simba, you know, let's get this knocked out. I mean, we it's time to move past this and to start talking about some other things. I want to move on. We've got to get good at closing. We got to get good at inviting. We've got to get these core competencies down before we can start moving into some higher level leadership stuff. And so I need you guys to get this assignment complete. Help me, help you put me on the phone with people. I'm available tomorrow during the day. I could do some 3-ways. And so let me know if you need me, text me, shoot me a text. Let me know when you're presenting to people, when you're talking to people. Good luck with your events, and congrats everybody on the sales that you put in over the weekend. But this week's got to be the biggest week you've ever had. So let's just make it your biggest week. You heard tonight the contest announcement. Anybody who gets 2 sales before Friday will get into the drawing for the party that we're having at Foundation Room in Vegas on May 24th with all the leaders from the company. You definitely do not want to miss that opportunity. So do whatever you can this week to at least get 2 sales so you can get into that drawing before Friday night. All right, guys, have a great night and God bless.